yeah, Wendell, here we go. Game changer. We're gonna go to the theater tomorrow and just blow minds. Like Chris True's gonna like shit his beard out his face, and it's just gonna be like. And then I get there and they're just like I don't know. Like the first couple of people I just bring it up to, and they're just like, nah, what do you mean? Or like and I get full of myself, so I always have to like kind of check that stuff out because like a lot of times, sometimes I come up with something that is just not really worth like kind of going forward on, and I will still do it privately.
I hear you. Yeah. I brainstorm so much that I probably from ideas to fruition it's like 5%, but that's just because I have an excessive amount of ideas. Like I just sit and write down everything from my Twitter feed to like the list, the like notes. You have whatever you want. The list of notes in my phone to the list of notes I have at my home computer to the paper notes that I take down. Like I have like 6 notebooks just filled with ideas that I'm currently working on. I actually recently had to clean my house because they redid the floors of my apartment, and I ended up with 2 full, huge plastic bins filled with old notebooks of ideas from years. So, like, there's just so much going out that I can't do all of the things.
Yeah.
But I try to do as much of it as I care to do.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, like, when you mentioned about like writing stuff, how often do you change your process? Do you even have a writing process? Like, I'm gonna, like, every Saturday I go and sit and like do a thing, or do you just like whatever, I'll just do it whenever I need to? And do you change that at all, or has it been kind of the same the whole time?
More recently, I've been trying to like force myself to sit down during the day, and sometimes I'll come here because the internet isn't as strong here, and I can't my laptop won't get any internet signal, so I can just write and I'm not distracted by anything. I'm distracted by, the bands, I guess, but that's just sort of
you have to take yourself away from the internet. Like, you can't even trust yourself with the internet, and it's like...
No, it's just that, like, don't get me wrong, while I'm sitting here writing, I'm still on my phone going to Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm a ridiculous human. But, like, I just, like, the thing is, my other desk is at the end of my bed. So, like, it just doesn't get me out of my comfort zone. And, like, I realized this morning I woke up at 7:30 for no reason. And then I went and sat down at my desk and didn't realize that I had continued to work at it until 1 p.m. And then I was like, oh, I should probably eat some food. Like, so I get a lot of work done, but mostly what I set at my desk at the end of my bed, it's like administrative stuff. It's like paperworky things. So if I'm going to get something creative done, I like to go to another space. And I can go to a coffee shop if I have money, but when I don't, I just come here because I'm already paying for this space.
Right.
So then I can just sit here and be locked in my room and nobody's going to bother me and write. But that being said, I mostly write on a deadline. And I create deadlines for myself. Like, I book shows and then I have to write stuff.
Yeah, I go to the library a lot. Or if I do go to a coffee place, I will go on Saturday morning because I get paid on Fridays. So like, I have money and I'll spend like the $3. But
I was going to say, so I can go spend $50 on coffee that day.
But the majority of the time, I just hang out at the library. But sometimes people sit next to you and they smell really bad.
That's really awesome.
It does happen.
I'm pissed that I don't do libraries anymore. Because I remember PageMaster got me really into...
Wait, like you just are done with?
I just forgot I forgot we had them. It's
gotcha.
I just forgot people were doing that.
Austin has really good libraries, actually.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that, and like a lot of the people from like the new movement, and a lot of like comedians and stuff I know, go and like rent DVDs and CDs and stuff from the library.
Yeah.
I also don't return things very well.
I see.
And I remember the first time I got a library card back home. I got it. I checked out like 5 books, and I still have those books.
Have you read them?
Yeah, over and over and over again. Like, they were like kids' books. They were, like I was a child.
Gotcha.
So,
wow.
But my family, they were like, all right, we'll take you to the library, because I was all like up in a huff about it. And then we just forgot that a library, it was like, hey, that was fun. My library was really old and creepy. It was like in a basement and just was not fun. Like PageMaster sold a library to me in a much more whimsical sense. So I got there and it was just like, I don't know, right before they tore it down. So it was just like really mean old ladies trying to like, be like, hey, yeah, why don't you...
You don't have a library in your hometown?
They rebuilt it. We got a newer one, but when I first got the itch to go to like our city library, it was like 30 years old. And just like...
It doesn't seem old to tear down a library. Right? 30 years? That doesn't seem like...
I'm surprised they rebuilt one. We're talking about South Carolina, mind you. It's like...
The low...
Not a lot of readers?
No, yeah. Like, we're... If not halfway, then like worse than that as far as like literacy rates go. And, yeah.
I don't know that it's that low. I mean, isn't like Arkansas or Mississippi the like lowest state of all the states?
Which is funny because like everybody learns how to spell Mississippi.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Knowing how to spell Mississippi hasn't helped me ever in life.
Which, fuck that. Like, I had to spell Massachusetts the other day, and I was like, why is there not a game for this? Like, I was like, Mississippi is such a, like, easy word to know how to spell.
You just sound it out.
Yeah, like, Massachusetts does stuff that words don't. Like, I don't know, there's just weird...
Yeah, I don't know where that one came from.
That noise?
I mean, England, clearly.
Oh, the name Massachusetts. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the noise that just occurred. Gotcha.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a band.
No, it sounded like something fell.
Yeah, to go back to your question though, I'm like Amy. It's like my writing happens like within 48 hours of when it has to go on stage.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
like,
for me that's
I'll write 2 or 3 weeks ahead, but it'll be because I have,
Yeah, but I also I really can only write like super late at night for whatever reason. It's just like when everybody else is sleeping and everything's quiet. Like I'll finally just be like, all right, it's just everything's still enough, and then I'll start writing, and then I realize I've been writing for like hours, and it's like, okay, the sun's up, people are waking you back up and stuff like that.
Time for you to go to sleep.
Yeah,
because the sun will kill you.
Yeah, and people are leeching off of my creativity.
I was gonna say, like, who's hanging out at your house like midday making all the noise? It's not like you have children.
You don't know that. No,
I mean,
I don't have children. I take account of. No, I mean like that's when like lawn maintenance happens. Like that's when like the leaf blowers and the fucking like the weed eaters and all that kind of stuff happens. I don't know. There's just something hectic to just knowing that everybody's out doing stuff. Yeah. It's just like there's a stillness to everybody else being asleep around me, where I just feel like my thoughts happen. I don't know, a lot more naturally, and they just kind of ring out. Like, I get... When things are complicated, I have a hard time processing it.
Have you guys ever thought of yourselves as empaths? Meaning, like, empathic, like, you receive other people's energy, you, like, have it, like, it affects you in a big way?
I'm way too, like, aware of it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm, like, making assumptions.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least that's what people tell me. I feel like I'm pretty on point, but like sometimes it's like an embarrassing thing where it's just like they just don't want to say it. It's like if I think a friend's mad at me about something, calling them out on it 9 times out of 10 doesn't really like make them go, oh yeah, well yeah, I actually am mad. Like a lot of people are just, I don't know, passive aggressive, and it's like, hey, are we good? And they're like, yeah, no, we're fine, and then they just move on.
Slam the door.
Yeah, like instead of just like attacking it. So.
Why do you ask? You're just curious.
No, it made me, because you were talking about how you could only really collect your thoughts at night. And I thought perhaps at night, people are asleep. So there's fewer, like, active brain waves flying. I mean, they're active because, you're asleep. But that's a different kind of, like, it's a different dimension. And I'll talk about that in a second because I have a dream thing. But like, the idea would be like everyone's quiet. Like when people are out living their lives, you can't get work done because their energy is out and frantic and you can feel it. Versus when they're at rest, you can finally find the space in the world.
Yeah.
Because like, I've often felt that, like, I like living in a city because I like the feeling of energy, but I like a small city because I think too much energy is what leads to things like mob mentality.
Yeah.
And I think that cities like New York City, for instance, are so big that it's easy at any moment to fall into mob mentality because there's just so many people around you. And I've often said that when you go to New York, when you pass over the border, like you'll take, I'm from Boston, and I've taken the bus from Boston to New York 1,000 times. And when you come in to, from on that route, you come in through the Bronx. So you like come in up the top. And as soon as you like cross the border of like, this is now New York City, I feel an energy inside of me. I like feel a franticness. I feel nervous. There's an energy of all the people smashed into that tiny island. And I feel it as soon as I get near to it, right? And I really just feel like there's something to that. And I wondered if perhaps you thought of that with your writing technique.
For me, I think it's less like, it's a little less new age hippie, I guess. Like, it's like, I'm not necessarily, like, I just always thinking about everyone around me and like what I'm doing and how it affects them, because like I grew up being the one weirdo in my hometown. Like, everybody in my hometown has the same attitude and same like opinions about everything, and I grew up and did not agree with anybody. But like, you can't just be like, nah, I'm pretty sure gays can marry, you know, like you just like they will shoot you out of a cannon into the, you know, next state.
Sure.
So it's like, I realized that I didn't agree with everybody, but at the same time, like, causing a ruckus wasn't really the best way to go about it. So you kind of, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what was different between me and everyone else. And when you start to do that, you start to like, I got addicted to just kind of breaking down like the human condition, like what makes people, what is the real motivation for people to do things and stuff. And everything I do comes through the lens, or like at least passes through the filter of, well, there are people that think this, or, you know, like I'm just way too conscious of.
Oh, so you care what people think?
Yeah, a lot.
Huh.
I do. That being said, that's not really like on a person-to-person basis. Like, if I don't know you, and like I'm like, hey, so, and I make a joke, and you tell me it's stupid, or like you're like, I don't know if. I don't really care about, like, that guy. That guy can go fuck himself. But, like, overall, people that I want to entertain, or, you know, like, I don't know, the audience, you know, it's like knowing the room and stuff like that. I try to just get like, the overall consensus of, like, what we all think is okay. Because, like, I came from South Carolina, and realized that I have a lot of antiquated, or, like, there's a lot of antiquated views on things that, I brought with me that I wasn't even aware of yet until I just was met with that disruption, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. It helped me survive in South Carolina, because I don't know. It would have been one thing for me to just be like, I'm progressive and I think everything is okay, and just like not caring about anybody else. But like the fact that I did help me like still fit into social situations and stuff like that, which, I mean, that's really the only like comfortable way to like make it through school there, because yeah, they don't really tolerate brainies or uppity people.
Do you think that, based on the idea that you like build your like ideas and art from what other people think, is there ever art that you do just for yourself? Like, would you ever do a performance where like you go out and whatever you do on stage is like for you, it's your own thing, it's the project that you need to accomplish, and if the audience likes it, great. If the audience doesn't, fuck them.
My stand-up kind of reflects that, honestly, because there are some jokes that I refuse to quit on. Austin has said, please quit. Like, just stop saying that to us, like, over and over, and I'm just like, nope. This is funny, I just have to figure out the way to, like, word it to get everybody around.
You know.
That being said, like, if I wanted, like, if it were just up to me, I think things are funny that most people do not think are funny. Like, I'm one of those people that thinks everything can be funny. Like, I think context is the important thing, but I think any taboo subject that